These are the instructions for the Unit 5 Access Module 3 SAM Project 1A. When you select this project, notice that you are not going to be able to use a Mac in order to complete these projects, so make sure that you find a Windows computer with Office 2016. Click on the Start button and you have 3 files that you have to download. You first of all have your instruction file, you have your Start file, and then you have a support file. The Start file and the support file will be used in order to complete this particular activity. So go ahead and open up your instruction file and your Start file. You'll get to your support file a little bit later. Remember, you want to first of all save your particular database, your Start file, by clicking on the File tab, Save As, Save Database As, Access Database, Save As again. You're going to navigate to a location where you can find the file for uploading. I have a Module 3 folder that I've created, and I'm going to change the file number to add the 2 at the end and save. In addition, you want to enable the content of your database by clicking on the Enable Content button on the security bar. Now, looking at your project steps, we're going to be working with forms. And a form is an easy way to enter data into a table. And it's actually something that you use all the time if you ever are online and you're using some type of site on the internet in order to enter data. You're basically using the equivalent of an Access form. So we're going to be using the Form Wizard in order to do this. And if I click on my Create tab, this is where I have my Forms group. It says use the Form Wizard to create a form based on the customer's table. So before you go any further, you want to make sure that you click and select the customer's table in the navigation bar. You don't want to open it, you just want to click it to select it. Once you've clicked on that, you're going to go over to your Forms group, and they said use the Form Wizard. So here is our Form Wizard, and notice when it opens up, Customers is the default table that's displayed because you did select it here from your navigation pane. Now the fields, they want us to include all of the fields, so you can use the Move All Fields button here, and once you've moved those into our selected fields, you can click Next. The layout is going to be columnar, which is the default. You can click Next. And we want to name our form Customer Entry Form. And notice this is the first name that we've used where we've got spaces in the actual object name. But do go ahead and put those spaces in, and then you can finish. Now, once the form is opened up, you'll notice that our view here is going to be Form View. They've got some options here. They want you to open up in Design View. Okay, so you can switch over and you can choose Design View. Okay, so we're going to be making some changes, and this is very different in appearance than anything we've done with queries and anything we've done with our tables. When you open in Design View, you notice that you have a field list pane that shows up so that you could modify your particular table. What we want to do is we want to go ahead and we want to close this. So you can either click the X here or click on the Add Existing Fields button under the Design tab, and that will remove it. They want us to make a change to the default value of this particular table for the state, so that the state is always going to show up as Colorado in the form. So to do that, you have to click over here to select the state value in the text box Control. So I've clicked in State in the Control, and then I'm going to open up the Property sheet, which is here on the Form Design Tools Design tab. And from the Property sheet, this is where you have various information that you want to select. Notice that there are multiple tabs here. Because we're looking at default setting value, we're going to click on the Data tab, and if you'll notice, if you come down, default value is one of the items. If you click in the box next to that, you're going to type in CO, And what that will do is that anytime that form comes up to be completed, Colorado will be the state that shows up. So once we've done that, we can go ahead and we can change our view to Form View. So we're going to come over and select Form View. Now we're going to use the customer entry form to navigate to the record with the customer number field value of 4. So we want to make sure this customer number is 4. So we're just going to use our Next Record button here on the little record navigation bar. And here is our customer number 4. And what we want to do here is we want to change this to 555-111-7878. So we're going to change the phone number. Okay. And we're going to add a new record to the table. So we're going to come down, and you can either use the New Record button here where it says New Blank Record on the record navigation bar, or from the Home tab, you've got a New button here where you can add a new record. And notice we don't ever type in the customer number because that's an auto number field. So we're going to go into our first name, and from your instructions, it gives you an example. So we've got John Rawlings, and I'm just hitting my using my tab key in order to navigate from one field to the next. 525 Kaufman Way. Notice I did not type in Colorado because that is my default value for this form. So any new record I attempt to add will have that value there. Now I can overwrite that if there was another state other than Colorado. Zip code 80301. Oh. Phone number. And the first contact is friend. And there is a drop-down list here that you can choose that option. Okay. So once you have entered the new record, notice auto numbering made 50 the record number. They want us to switch to Layout View. So we're going to change our view. We're going to go to Layout View. And from Layout View, we want us to change the font color of the customer entry form label in the form header section to automatic. So here we're going to come up, and this is where we want to make a change to that particular field. So if you go to the Form Layouts Tools Format tab, you've got your color options. You can choose automatic, and it will automatically apply the black font there. The next thing they want us to do is make it bold. So we can click on the bold button, and it automatically applied and made bold. So after making all of those changes, you're going to click on your Save button to save your changes to the form, and then you can go ahead and you can close out of the form. In step number 6, they want us to create a split form based on the trips table. So we're going to go up here to the navigation pane and click on Trips. Then we're going to click on the Create tab. Now the split form is located under the More Forms link. And if you'll come down and click on Split Form, it automatically displays both a form view as well as a datasheet view. So you can modify records either in the form view option or come down to your datasheet view option. Either way will allow you to make modifications. Now we're going to save this as Trips Split Form. So we're going to go up and click on our Save button. And once again, we've got spaces between each of the words in our form name. So make sure everything is spelled correctly. And then click OK. I'm going to close out of this property sheet for right now. So either can click the X here or click the property sheet button in the Form Layout Tools Design tab. Now they want us to switch to Form View. So we're going to click on our Form button, and this is Form View. Now, there are 3 different views that are available. Form View is used only to add and edit records. Layout View and Design View are for changing the structure of your form. So you want add or edit a record under Layout View or Design View. So we're in Form View, and they want us to navigate to the record with the field value of 7. So we want the value of 7. So here it is. And I could have come down here and clicked on it, and it would have displayed here in the Form View. I'll show you how that works. So record 1, I could come down to 7 here. So now what we want to do is they want us to change the trip name field value of this record to Aspen Development Project. So the trip name, okay, and then they want us to close the trips split form. So once we want to do this, we're going to go ahead and right-click the tab and close the form. Now next, for step number 8, they want us to open up the trip schedule form in Design View. So here's our list of forms in our navigation pane. So trip schedule, right-click, and we're going to choose Design View. Now we have a trip schedule label that's located here, and it says they want us to change this label to read trip and schedule form. So we want to click trip and schedule form. Next, they want us to delete the insert observation house label. So when you click it so that you have the gold bar surrounding it, all you have to do to delete is just hit the delete key on your keyboard, and it will remove it from your form header. Now with this form open in step number 10, they want us to insert a JPEG of the support file that you downloaded. So we're going to go up and we're going to click where it says Insert Image from the drop-down arrow, and I'm going to browse to where that it downloaded. So from my downloads, notice that nothing showed up. I want to show all files, and I am looking for the file that's called support. So I'm going to come down. It's support ILAC163A. So here it is, house.jpg. So now they want us to place this at the 3-inch position on the horizontal ruler. So I'm going to click here, and notice how when I clicked that it sized this to fit all the way over to the 6-inch mark on the horizontal ruler, and then down a little past the 2-inch mark on the vertical ruler. They want us to resize this. So they want this to be positioned between the 3-inch and the 5-inch marks on the horizontal ruler, and 0 and 1.5 on vertical. So what you want to do is you want to grab the corner, and you want to drag up the corner so you're between 3 and 5, and you're between the 1 and 1.5. Something along the lines of this. So between 3 and 5 and 1 and 0 and 1.5. Now there is an example that they're showing you, and if you look at figure 2, you compare what you have on your screen to what's on the screen for figure 2 and make sure that it matches somewhat. And what we can do is we can switch over to Form View so that we get a little bit better option here, so that it shows it a little more. Okay. So we want to switch back over, and we're going to go to Design View. The next thing that they want us to do is they want to modify the actual width of the form itself. Right now the form is a little over 6 inches, and this is our horizontal width. They want us to make this form about 5 inches wide. So if I place my pointer on the border here at the 6 and just a little bit mark, I can drag that in and stop at the 5-inch mark and release. And notice I've resized so that my form is only 5 inches wide. Now the next thing that we're going to do is they want us to go to the top edge of the details section so that the header is only 1.5 inches. So notice now that we've come down to a little below 2 inches. And what I want to do is I want to adjust that so that's only the 1.5. So I'm going to click in my detail pane because this is where my form header is. And if I place my pointer at the top of that detail section header and just drag up and see 1.5 is on the vertical ruler. And when I've done that, I've adjusted that particular height. So 1.5 inches tall. Now in this form, they want us to select all 10 labels in the detail section of the trip schedule form and right align the text within the labels. So they don't want us to right align the controls, they only want us to right align the labels. So we're going to start by clicking on the very first label, the trip number. Hold down your control key and then select the other 9 labels. Now once all 10 labels are selected, you want to change so that the alignment is right. So the easiest way to do this is you can either go to Form Tool, Design Tools Format tab, and there you've got right alignment. You've also got the right alignment available on the Home tab. So that's one of the easiest ways. Another way that you can change the alignment is you can open up the property sheet and you can change the alignment there. Anything that takes place within your form is going to have a property associated with it, and you can modify the property there. So once you've made the change there, they want us to go in and they want us to make some other changes. So I'm going to click away to deselect. Now they want us to delete the price label. These are labels, these are controls. Labels are sort of like the field names. They just tell you the information that's included, that's in the control. The control itself is going to pull information from your table. So if I click on a label, like the label price, all I have to do is then just hit my delete key in order to remove it. My control is still there. Now they want us to move the price text box control to the right of the trip number control. Now 14B, they want us to move the price text box, so this is our text control, so that it is positioned next to the right of the trip number text box. So we're going to go up to trip number. They want it to be positioned at the 3-inch mark, and they want it to be set up so that the top edge is aligned with the top edge of the trip number. So I'm going to click away, and it looks like they're very close. In step 15, they want us to resize the trip start date text box control, which is this control, to be approximately the same width as the calculated date for the trip end date. So this is the calculated date for the trip end date. One easy way to do this is you can just drag the handles in order to adjust the size. Another way so that you can be more exact is you can select this calculated control, go up to the property sheet, and in the Format tab, you've got a width of 1 inch. Now you can click on the field where you want to change the trip start date, and you can adjust the width so that it is 1 inch. So now the two match. Step number 16, they want us to modify a tab stop property for the trip number text box to know. What that means is that when you're tabbing through each of the different fields when you're entering your data, if there's no reason to enter anything in one of the fields, then there's no reason for the tab to actually stop there for you to do so. And remember, trip number is an auto number field. So we want to click on trip number, come up to the property sheet, click on other, and where it says tab stop, right now we do have where our tab stops at that position. Click the drop down and change it to no. In step number 17, they want you to change the tab order for the form so that the price field is first. So if you go up to the Form Design Tools Design tab, you have a tab order button, and we want price to be first. So if you click on price in the selector bar, what you want to do is you want to move that up so that it is first. So you drag it up to the top, and it is the first field. So whenever you tab through, that's going to come up at the very beginning. Just click OK, and then you can close out of your property sheet, and then you can move on to step number 18. Now it says in the trip schedule form, add a new text box to the details section of the form to the right of the duration text box, and modify the new text and its associated label using the final options. I'm going to go up to my Form Design Tools Design tab in my Controls group, and I'm going to select the text box control, and I'm going to position it at approximately in line where the duration is to the right, and click. And what's going to happen is that it's going to include both the label control as well as a text box control. So I want to get this moved over, so I'm going to adjust, and I may have to adjust even more. The other thing I want to do is I want to move these up so that they're in line with duration. The easiest way to do that, rather than dragging, the arrow keys are like nudge keys on your keyboard. If I click on the up arrow, see how it positioned it up slightly? And if you click away, it's going to be more in line. You can do the same thing. Select both of your controls, and you can adjust slightly. Okay? All right. Now in our label control, our label text is going to be cost per night, so cost/night. So I'm going to highlight what's there. So this is our new label text. Now in our control, here is where we're going to enter an expression. What an expression does is it performs a calculation within a particular field. And our calculation has to do with taking the price of the trip divided by the duration, which is going to give us the cost per night. So we always start off an expression with an equal sign, just like we did with an Excel when we were entering a formula or a function. Now, our fields are represented by the name of the field typed exactly the way it is, surrounded by square brackets. And it's very simple that you can open up your square bracket, start typing price, close your bracket, and then divided by is using the /. And we're going to do the same thing for duration, which is our field name, and then close. Now another way that we could have added that particular expression is by doing it in our property sheet. So I'm going to delete this out. I'm going to open up the property sheet, and when you look for the data and the control source for our data, once again you can type in your expression here. So here's equal, your bracket, price, and here you can hit your tab key to select price, divided by, bracket, duration, and notice how you can hit your tab key to select duration, and there is your expression in as well. The next step is they want us to change the format property for the new text box to currency. So I'm going to click on the Format tab, and this is where they're going to specify from the drop-down list where it says Format, and I'm going to choose Currency per the instructions there. And at this point they want us to save our trip schedule form. So I'm going to click on my Save button, and they want us to switch to Form View. Next, they want us to navigate to our last record. The easy way to do that is to come down to our record navigation bar and click on the Last Record button. So this is record number 55. And they want us to change the duration field value for this record to 4. So instead of 5, I'm going to change that to 4. And notice how it automatically updated the cost per night. Next, what they want us to do is navigate to the second record in the form. So I'm going to go all the way back to the first record, and then I'm going to click on the Next Record button. And the second record is record number 9. And here they want us to change the trip name to Biking for Ecology, which is okay. And once you've done that, they want you to go into use the Find feature to find the trip record where the city field value equals Islamorada. So in this particular case, I can click in the city field. Going up to my Home tab, I can click on the Find button, and I can type Islamorada, and here is Islamorada, and this is duration value for this. We want to change this to a 5. And tab. And close this. Once you've made that change, they want you to go ahead and close the trip schedule form. And at this point, remember, you want to compact and repair your database. You want to make sure there's nothing open. Close out of your database before uploading for grading.